What up, what up? Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I missed you all, my peeps. I apologize. I was out sick. Plus, it was the holidays. Hope you guys had an amazing, lovely Thursday Thanksgiving with all the football, with all the Thanksgiving fixins. Let me know in the chat, what is your favorite part of Thanksgiving? Is it football? Is it stuffing? Is it turkey? Some people just like to smother things in gravy, and hey, all power to you. Also, Friday, Black Friday shoppers. Let me know if that's still a thing. I remember, I remember back in the day, getting done with Thanksgiving dinner. Damn, getting lined up in line. I remember one time I went to, I was in college, and I went to Best Buy. I went to Best Buy. It was like at 7 in the after. It was at 7 at night, and I got done we just got done eating Thanksgiving dinner, and then we went to stand in line at Best Buy. And we were standing, and then the store was still open and didn't really close yet. But we got a pretty good deal. We got a pretty good deal. It opened up at like 12 a.m. It was terrible, tired as hell. It was definitely, definitely something you can only do when you're when you're about 20 to 21 years old. So obviously nowadays not the case, but hope you guys had a great shopping day. There's only there's only 22 more shopping days till Christmas. What's today, the 2nd? Yeah, today's the 2nd. 22 more shopping days till Christmas. If you're one of those late bloomers, one of those late shoppers, I gotta be honest, I do kind of love it with you, but at the same time, definitely gonna try to get my shopping done a little bit quicker. Gonna start doing it within the next couple of days, being brutally honest. But all in all, hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season. Fun, safe, hold your close ones, closer, and just always go out there and try to make some new friends, new acquaintances, but most importantly, spread that holiday cheer that that comes around usually around Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So by all means, we're all humans. We're all a society. Let's all band together, end to hate, and let's come together as one and have an amazing holidays. All right, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez. Today we have a great show for you today on tap. Today we're going to talk about some WWE Friday Night SmackDown. We're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw. Then we're going to talk about WWE Survivor Series. Make sure you stay tuned for the third segment. We're going to break down all the matches, give an analysis, give you guys my winners and my losers. In our fourth segment, we're going to talk about injuries. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, obviously. A handful of individuals got injured during their respective WarGames matches. Obviously, those who come to mind, Jimmy, Bronson, Raquel Rodriguez. Stay tuned for the fourth segment. We talk about their injuries and the future of WWE with them off the roster. In our fifth and final segment, Shinsuke Nakamura is your new WWE United States Champion. Is it right? Does it suck for LA Knight? The good and the bad? We're going to talk about it all in our fifth segment, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But before we get on into any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether if you guys got a burning question or hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. This show is all about keeping the conversation going, making sure that you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix 1,010%. So don't be shy, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that super chat? Just hit that $sign. Anything you put inside that box is going to be guaranteed to be featured on this show. Plus, anything you guys donate is a great way to support the channel. Obviously, all these amazing podcasters on this network have one goal in mind, to make sure that you guys consume as much sports content that you guys love so damn much. And guess what? It's absolutely 1,010% free. So make sure that you guys give back. Throw us a little love. Throw us a bone here. Throw us a little holiday cheer here. Obviously, we are super thankful for that. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's get this party started. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat not your thing. Go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. There's going to be some disagreements, some criticisms. It's all good. It's all gravy on the turkey and the steak and the mashed potatoes. It's all gravy, baby. Don't worry about it. We just want to make sure you guys feel open and, not too shy to go in and chime in on this wrestling podcast to make sure you guys feel like you're, you guys are involved. This is your podcast just as much as it is mine. So, we can get started with that. All right, we have WWE SmackDown review. All in all, it was a nice little Fallout episode. It was not Fallout. It was the Go Home episode, obviously, before WWE Survivor Series. Obviously, since we're going to be breaking down Survivor Series, I'm not going to spend too much time on, the WarGames and everything. I'm going to kind of try to focus on things that weren't really highlighted during Survivor Series. Other than that, I feel like I'm just, sounding repetitive as a podcast, and I don't want to do that. All right, first, the show kicked off. We had the women's WarGames teams come out, both of them, Team Rhea, Team Ripley. Team Rhea, Team Liv, come out and they have their 2 cents. They throw their 2 cents. They start talking mess. Obviously, Bianca bringing up whoever hurt Bianca Belair, whoever hurt Jade Cargill. Liv, of course, throws suspicion at the whole Jade thing, talking about since Bayley wanted to be part of the team so damn bad, wants to stay relevant within that women's division on SmackDown or on Raw or maybe even WWE in general. She randomly pops up wanting to, obviously she has ties with Naomi, so there's still, some gray areas there. But who really attacked Jade Cargill? I'm just kind of thinking, about the best possible, storylines, the best bookings that this show could possibly, when I mean this show, I mean WWE SmackDown that could have. I have two in mind. One of them is obviously pretty far-fetched. I'm not really too sure about it, is Naomi. Naomi, she's been dying to get on television. She's on television. That's not what I mean. But she's dying to get she's been dying to get attention. She's been dying to get attention in WWE. She's definitely a veteran. She's had her title shots here and there. She had her little run as this. I think she was the SmackDown Women's. I don't even think it was a WWE Women's Champion. I think she was a SmackDown Women's Champion, and maybe that might kind of irk her. Maybe because she is they're the three amigos. They're the three amigas. Right now, Naomi. I had suspicions and speculations as a WWE fan. I'm look, how many times do you want to just wash, rinse, and repeat the same storyline of Naomi? How many times do you want to do it? To the point where she plays the same character. She gets in the booking. She gets in the same storylines where she helps out her friends and then she ends up getting her ass kicked. And then people have to come and back her up. And then she triumphs it and she wins. Only for her to get broken down. I feel like it's the same thing over and over again. The only thing that really kind of concerns me with this is I feel like, much like a lot of really hardcore babyface superstars, what's it going to look like if she turns heel? Is it going to be cool for a couple of months, 3 to 6 months, and then after that, it's what do we do with her now? And see, that's something that WWE has done in the past. Do you necessarily sacrifice the authenticity of the storyline for the shock factor? And the shock factor would be, hey, dude, guess what? Naomi attacked Jade Cargill. And I think Naomi's looking for, she needs a storyline. She needs a storyline, but I don't think this is quite it just yet. Overall, my other choice that I think that, I think the Tonga Twins. The Tonga Twins finally make their way into WWE. They've been kind of seen backstage on WWE NXT for quite some time. Maybe Nia Jax starts to develop her own little, bloodline storyline where you have the Tongan Twins. And then you also have, Candice LeRae, and they completely kick Tiffany Stratton out to the point where she gets absolutely brutalized. She gets her, she gets her butt kicked. She looks like the victim. The fans love themselves some, it's Tiffy time. And then they find a way to turn Tiffany Stratton babyface because just basically this, the odds are against her. She's been, she's to the point where she's all alone. All the fans are like, oh, you should have been paying attention to hints here and there of Nia Jax, absolutely disrespecting you, grabbing you by the throat, demeaning you, talking down to you. When is Tiffany Stratton finally going to catch a grip and be like, you know what? I got to do what I got to do. I got to cash in on Nia Jax. See, like, that plan also comes to mind, but then again, I think about it, I'm like, okay, if Nia Jax, if she did put the Tonga twins against, up to the task of knocking out Jade Cargill, then maybe that might, muddy the waters a little bit, I guess. But right now, it's still obviously, up in the air. It's going to be interesting to find out what happens, once when it's all said and done. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Andrade. Andrade, his momentum, it seems to be kind of diminishing a little bit. And, and it sucks. I feel like when Andrade was brought back to WWE, it was going to be different. It was going to be a whole different, different type of Andrade, a whole different type of bookings. And for, by all means it was. But now it kind of seems like he's being booked in the same reasons what got him uninterested in the World Wrestling Entertainment to begin with. Is like, okay, one match you're going to look strong, Andrade. One match you're going to look unstoppable. One match you're going to look like you could hold a mid-card title like the United States Championship or the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And then the next match, it's going to look like you've never wrestled before. And, obviously that's, it might be a little exaggeration there. But, like, Shinsuke Nakamura kind of took him on, like, he kind of won decisively. There was never really any doubt of Shin losing that match. And I think that's an indictment on Andrade. That should have been a way more competitive match. Obviously, with Andrade losing that match, they are doing everything in everything in their power, everything in their, in their backpack, so to speak, to push this new Shinsuke Nakamura, this darker, more sinister, Macaulay kind of character. And I like it. I like it for Shinsuke Nakamura, but it seems like, what we're going to talk about later on as well after, talking about Survivor Series, LA Knight losing. We're going to, the LA Knight character seems like he kind of suffered because of it. And the Andrade character seems like he kind of suffered as well. But, it's, still obviously up in air. Hopefully we'll get the whole, perspective, the whole picture at the end of it once when, right now it's still the United States Championship picture in WWE right now is it's in complete disarray. Like, you don't know who you want to put the title on, and whoever wins the title, after 100 plus days, you lose it. Like, when Logan lost it, he was kind of like a part-timer. He lost it to LA Knight. And then you had this whole Andrade, Carmelo Hayes thing coming along. And then Santos Escobar demands to be respected, and Legado del Fantasma went to Nick Aldis demanding some time and some attention and some respect. They got it for like an episode and a half or like 2 episodes. So I don't know. It's I don't know. Right now it's still very much up in the air. It's interesting. That's what WWE is doing really, really well. But, it doesn't really have much of a, doesn't have really much of a direction right now. So, obviously, when we talk about Survivor Series, we'll get more into that. Tommaso Ciampa explains his actions to Johnny Gargano, his partner of DIY, talking about how Alex Shelley, he mentored you, bro, when you were like 20. But that's in the past. So, you have to decide if your friendship with Alex Shelley is going to basically dictate your future as a tag team competitor, because if they want to be on top, they have to dethrone the Motor City Machine Guns. I feel for Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa said, if you don't come up with a plan, Johnny, I'm going to keep doing it my way, where he's causing ruckus and, he's attacking people inside the ring, costing Street Profits the match. Obviously this is building up for a nice little successful, triple threat match for the WWE tag team titles, which would be pretty badass. I would love to see it at Saturday night's main event in like a ladder match or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But I don't know, it should be pretty awesome. Cody Rhodes taking on Carmelo Hayes. We all knew this was this was Carmelo Hayes, young, not really going to, put up much. Well, he put up a fight. He put up a decent fight against Cody Rhodes. Came out originally throwing haymakers, verbally saying that Kevin Owens was right. Cody Rhodes, you don't stab people in the back, you stab people right in the heart. So, with that kind of being said, I love Carmelo Hayes' attitude. But he's still very young. Still very much young, in my opinion. I felt like he could have spent a little more time in NXT, especially with this, with the new deal with the CW and them being kind of like their own, wrestling entity. But now he kind of throws it in the face of competitors that, yeah, dude, I'm a first round draft pick. Like if nowadays that really means something, and it really doesn't. It really doesn't in WWE. Like the first round draft pick, it's not that great. Like, you know what I mean? But, I don't know. Carmelo Hayes, great competitor. That Crossroads, man, damn, he got hit hard. Man, it looked like that guy had a broken neck. Like, I was worried for Carmelo Hayes. I was like, dude, holy crap. You don't have to sell the Crossroads that much. That's insane. We had a sit-down meeting between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Obviously, Roman Reigns still at odds with CM Punk. They both said, I don't like you, in their respective manners. And CM Punk wants to revisit their relationship after WarGames. But something that kind of, was interesting to talk about was the wise man. Roman Reigns asked him, hey, what was the favor that CM Punk asked for? And even after the WarGames match at Survivor Series, you had them embrace each other, CM Punk and Paul Heyman. And, CM Punk kind of reiterating, hey, man, you owe me that favor. So we'll find out what that favor is later on. The next couple of months maybe, but I don't know. I think it should be juicy. WWE Women's United States Tag Team Tournament continued with Piper Niven, Lash Legend, obviously taking the spot of the injured Jade Cargill, and Michin. Hated that botched cover. I love Michin. She's cool and all, but I Lash Legend should have won this bout. And I feel like with the addition of Michin, you kind of need that little bit. You need that baby face kind of, Bayley, I feel like, she is a baby face at this time, but she's still kind of working her way up to, like, being that, full left kind of baby face. As of right now, Michin is led by the WWE Universe. So, obviously she had to win. I knew she was going to win. But when Lash Legend came out, I got to be honest, I changed my opinion. I was like, dude, this girl is the future WWE. This girl needs to make it to the main roster and fight for the title. But, she lost. So now we have, Michin, Bayley, and Chelsea Green in the finals. And we have one more spot. And finally, in the main event, Jacob Fatu cleanly beat the Hot Jey Uso, which was kind of crazy to me. Like, Jacob Fatu, obviously, I've kind of talked about this on this podcast over and over and over again, how the reason why they didn't want him to debut so quick in WWE was because he would overshadow Solo Sikoa, the Tribal Chief. And so far, he's done that. He's done exactly that. He's been way better than Solo Sikoa. He's been way better than Tama Tonga Loa. He's been better than basically everybody. He's been even more impressive than Roman Reigns in recent times, who got cleanly pinned by Solo Sikoa at WWE Crown Jewel. So the Samoa Werewolf definitely, he has a hot, promising start. He was able to kick out of the spear and the Uso splash. I loved the clean pin, but at the same time, I kind of felt for Jey Uso, who I thought was going for, he was pushed by WWE. He won the Intercontinental Championship and everything, but, then the Civil War kind of happened, and then, Solo Sikoa cost him the championship against Braun Breaker. Bam, Braun Breaker becomes the two-time WWE Intercontinental Champion. But all in all, it was a great match. I felt like it was a great way to kind of set up the feud, the WWE, the Bloodline storyline that's set to take place within the next couple of years. Like, even Paul Heyman said in an interview that if you think that the Bloodline storyline was over after Cody Rhodes finished his story at the end of WrestleMania 41, you're in for a brutal surprise. This is basically only the third inning. So, obviously a lot of, build up heading toward WWE, WrestleMania 41. Maybe maybe that'll be the end of the sixth inning. Who knows? All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw talk. Obviously, it has already aired on the East Coast. I realize that, but I have not checked out any single shred of social media. No TikTok, no Facebook, for no Instagram for no content and updates. I'm going in completely blind. I got it recorded right now. I'm still a schmuck who pays for basic cable, who has it recorded on my fancy recorded DVR. Did he still call it DVR nowadays? I'm not too sure. But we're going to talk about some good old-fashioned Monday Night Raw. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice-cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alright, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring. We talk about backstage curtain calls, rumors, drama. We talk about, inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings for promotions from WWE to New Japan Professional Wrestling to Stardom to the GCW to the NWA to AEW. Makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show, so make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can get some notifications whenever we go live. I would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say. Go and show me those chats right there, and show me some of your opinions. All right, guys, we just got done talking about. We talked about some WWE SmackDown, just to kind of crossing all the T's, dotting the I's. Here we're going to talk about some Monday Night Raw talk. And, but before we get into any of that, just want to remind you guys to hit up that super chat if we got a burning question or hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we value all opinions. We want you guys to make sure that you guys are getting everything off your chest. We are all ears. The show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not hit up that $sign? Whatever you put inside that box is going to be guaranteed to be featured, talked about, maybe even debated about if it's that juicy on this show 1,010%. So make sure you guys, do all that. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports channel. Obviously, helps us keep the lights on these amazing podcasts with all these amazing, passionate sports podcasters who have one goal in mind, to make sure that you guys are fully satisfied on the sports content that you guys love to consume on a day-to-day basis. So make sure you guys go ahead and, throw a little love our way, especially during holiday season. I'm sorry. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat not your thing, it's all good. Go ahead and hit up that tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Criticisms are bound to happen. So, it's all gravy. It's all water under the bridge, guys. Don't even worry about it. Send us how you feel inside that chat. It's going to be greatly appreciated no matter what. So, don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. All right, we got some WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. We are live. It's a Fallout episode of WWE Survivor Series, and we're going to be at the New Day 10th anniversary celebration. Wow, should be pretty awesome. It's we're live from the Angel of Winds Arena. Oh wow, that's an interesting name. Angel of Winds. The Angel of Winds Arena in Everett, Washington. Yeah. CM Punk is set to kick off WWE Monday Night Raw. He needs, we're going to find out his direction. Wrestling fans, especially WWE Universe members, obviously, and I'm not too sure if, this is kind of like, set in stone or anything like that. But it's kind of already been predetermined that he's going to take on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Is that going to happen tonight? Will Seth Rollins find a way to... Because Bronson Reed right now, he's injured. He's not going to be on WWE Monday Night Raw. It's already been said. So, is CM Punk going to find a new direction tonight with Seth Rollins? Is somebody else going to step in and try to attack him? Is what's going to happen? Is what Paul Heyman said is basically going to come true tonight on WWE Monday Night Raw, where he told CM Punk, like, look, you guys need to come together. You guys need to come together because first and foremost, you guys bring out the best of each other, and second of all, he's going to come after you. He's going to come after you because of me. Solo Sikoa and his band of, Cretans or whatever. And, that could possibly happen tonight. We're basically now building up toward NBC Saturday night's main event, which should be it's PLE-worthy content. So it's possible that maybe we could see, like it's CM Punk taking on Solo Sikoa, maybe, possibly. Or, maybe we have Seth Rollins building up momentum toward, with CM Punk. People are speculating that CM Punk will challenge Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I could see how that could work. That could work, obviously, because of the star power. Gunther and CM Punk, oh my God, why wouldn't you want to see that as a WWE fan? For me, I think it'd be too soon. And that's my opinion, 1,010%. I think it'd be way too soon to put CM Punk against Gunther, and here's why. CM Punk, coming off of a brutal, long feud with the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. Then getting done with that, everything with the bracelet and my dog Larry and my wife's name on the bracelet. You ripped it up. You broke it. I'm just kidding. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. We need a fifth member for Roman Reigns' OG bloodline. Who's going to be the guy? Paul Heyman comes in, CM Punk, bam, it works. It works. I was kind of against it because, with the whole Bronson Reed character, I thought they would more or less kind of pick someone who's going to go against Bronson Reed for the next couple of weeks on WWE Monday Night Raw. But if you think about it now, Bronson Reed is injured. He's going to be off of WWE Monday Night Raw. This week is for sure. And other than that, Triple H said it's questionable. What's going to be next for CM Punk? So the only thing that literally makes sense is he comes out, stakes his claim, being like, you know what? It's time that I finally get gold around my waist. I challenge Gunther for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. See, that makes the most sense. That does make the most sense. And like I said, I might not like it, and I feel like it might be a little bit premature, but he's going to do it. And then Seth Rollins is going to come out, and he's going to be like, look, during the number one contenders match, Bronson Reed came out, and, he took me out, and he put me through the table, and I wasn't supposed to lose that match, yada, yada, yada. But then that's going to build, between them two. Maybe we might get a triple threat match with Gunther. Possibly. I don't think Gunther's going to fight on Saturday night's main event. That's just me. I feel like you're going to have a number one contenders match, yeah. I would love to see, like a Finn Balor versus Damian Priest versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, maybe versus a returning Drew McIntyre. But then again, Drew McIntyre coming back just to fight another match with CM Punk would kind of be, derivative. You want to really make sense. I want to see McIntyre move to SmackDown to avoid that whole awkward situation. That's the thing that, it could possibly happen on WWE Monday Night Raw. We got the 10th anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of the New Day. Do they finally break up? Will we see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston going at it? At this point, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. At first, I gotta be honest, I wasn't for it. Something that WWE loves to do. Well, obviously back during the crappy Vince McMahon writing days, where you would sacrifice the shock factor for 3 to 6 months of quote unquote good content, and then after that, people would just walk aimlessly around the locker room looking for a storyline and being like, all right, we don't really have much to do. You break this tag team up. You need to have a plan. You need to have a plan for the future. And I think the future of the New Day, Kofi's going to stay on the back. That guy's almost 40. Xavier Woods, young, still relatively in his glory days. He could still win a WWE title, and what irks him. That he has not established singles gold. Like, he's been, king of the ring. That's cool and all, but nowadays in WWE, it's not like it was back in the day with, Owen Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Paul Levesque and stuff like that. It's, it doesn't have that same ring to it. Nowadays, it's kind of just like, okay, yeah, here you go. You can have your glory for the pay-per-view. Maybe call yourself king on a couple of episodes of SmackDown or Raw, and then bam, that's it. Bada boom, bam. But nowadays, it just doesn't really mean much. So Xavier Woods is definitely going to go out there and try to establish himself as a singles wrestler tonight. I want to see him and Kofi kind of part on good ways. I don't want to see... I don't want to see tonight, like, Kofi Kingston comes up to him. He's like, hey, man, let's smash this. Here, man, here's a cake with our faces on them. And then Xavier Woods throws the cake in his face and attacks him and does all this stupid thing. I don't want to see that. I definitely don't want to see that. I think the best for these superstars to ultimately part ways, I feel like the best way to do is them to shake hands, being in the same ring with Big E. Hopefully Big E's there tonight. And be like, you know what? We've been together for 10 years, but it's time to separate. You have a nice mutual, separation. Thus, we don't have Xavier Woods necessarily kind of going down the path of being a heel. I don't think he'd be a good heel, especially on Monday Night Raw. I feel like there's too many heels on the division that Xavier Woods would kind of ultimately kind of fall into. He wouldn't be main event status. He would be mid-carder. He would be, Braun Breaker. He's not a face. He's not a heel. Ludwig Kaiser, heel. Sheamus, heel. Dominic Mysterio, heel. Finn Balor, heel. Who else do you got? Like, you have all these other, Karrion Kross, heel. The Miz, heel. You have so many heels on Monday Night Raw already. Like, why do you want to have, Xavier Woods kind of be part of that fray? So, for me personally, I do want to see a match between the two. I want to see them going against each other in a nice, respectful match, and at the end, the best man obviously would win. With maybe Big E being the special guest referee, that'd be pretty badass. But I don't know. It should be interesting. Should be interesting to find out what this 10-year anniversary of the New Day is going to what's going to say. Next, we have a WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. The tournament begins tonight. Dakota Kai takes on Katana Chance and Shayna Baszler. I want to see Dakota Kai. I feel like she'd be a great singles champion. But Shayna Baszler, she's been on the back burner of WWE for so long. She's that classic case of, NXT during the Triple H, Paul Levesque era, back during there was a black and gold. On NXT was great. It was amazing. It was great. Vince McMahon wanted nothing to do with NXT. And then when, talents like Shayna Baszler, Aleister Black, Keith Lee came up to the main roster, Ember Moon, Adam Cole, they came up and they didn't have any direction because Vince McMahon didn't know what the hell, I didn't watch a single shred of NXT. Who the hell is this Adam Cole guy? Like, I feel like Shayna Baszler is definitely one of those superstars who she kind of deserves she deserves something. She deserves something. And her being the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Championship, although the PFC, the Pure Fusion Collective, has been absolutely dog crap ever since they were initiated in WWE. I got to be honest, and it hurts me to say that as a wrestling fan. It buries me to say that the team of three promising superstars, Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler, who I thought it was great. I thought it would have been amazing for all three of those women to have this faction to kind of get back into superstardom level that they ultimately deserve, that they put in their hard work for, and their multiple tenured years inside the squared circle in WWE or any wrestling promotion before that. But the bookings lately, the Pure Fusion Collective has been it's been a joke. Has nothing short of craptacular, which obviously, like I said, buries me to say, but I don't know, it's just kind of let down. R-Truth takes on Pete Dunne. We all know how that's going to go. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez take on Io Sky and Kairi Sane. What is next for the Wyatt Six? Will we get a 4-on-4 match at WWE Saturday Night's main event with the Final Testament taking on the Wyatt Six? Seth Rollins, will he address the Bronson Reed thing? Maybe, maybe not. Finn Balor, Damian Priest are going at it once again. I'm not a huge fan of it. We've seen Damian Priest being beat up by the Judgment Day over and over and over and over again. Carlito, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio, putting their hands up in the air over a broken and beaten, battered Damian Priest. So are we really going to get that for like another couple of months? I don't like it. I hated it. I think it's stupid. But maybe they might shock me tonight. And what's next? What's next for the WWE World Tag Team Division? I feel like it needs a little bit of revampage. Obviously, what the Motor City Machine Guns did for the SmackDown Tag Team Division was phenomenal. Will you see, Tommaso Ciampa told Johnny Gargano on SmackDown that, like, hey, dude, you need to figure something out because this is not working, because then we're just going to do it my way. If Johnny Gargano approaches Adam Pearce and offers, if he goes up to Nick Aldis and be like, hey, can we get traded to Monday Night Raw? I can see DIY being in that, that flagship, that pillar in the tag team division on Monday Night Raw. But, with the War Raiders being so dominant, with the War Raiders being absolutely, they're big guys. And, what you've seen in the past in WWE with bigger guys like, with Braun Strowman, back in the day with, with the Big Show, going back to now for more of an accurate reading with Omos. You have these bigger guys and they don't necessarily play well in terms of, being a part of like a professional wrestling spectrum where you kind of have them going against teams like tag team divisional teams where it just doesn't really make sense. Like they might be too heavyweight for the tag team division, but hopefully, they do well. I like Eric. I like Eric and Ivar. It's not like they don't play to their competition. So maybe I might be talking out of my ass a little bit right here, but overall, I don't know. I just feel like, the Raw Tag Team Division, they need they ultimately need a direction. Hopefully it's established, before the Netflix era, because that Netflix is going to be super upset if they don't have a steady tag team division on WWE. All right, so we got done talking about Raw, SmackDown. Now we're going to get into the teeth of it, talk about some WWE Survivor Series War Games analysis. I'm going to give you guys my overall reaction, my winners and losers, future storylines and bookings. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 20 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage, curtain calls, rumors, dramas. We talk about inactive statuses and injury updates. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1,010%. So make sure you guys, click that like and subscribe button to the show so you guys can get a lot of notifications whenever we decide to go live, so you guys can tune in live. Also send in your chats inside that chat box, so this could ultimately be our podcast as opposed to just my podcast, because I hate to just come up here and just be yelling at the mic for an hour straight. So I would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say. Alright guys, so we recently got done talking about some WWE SmackDown. We talked about Monday Night Raw. And now we're going to talk about some WWE Survivor Series. Of course, before we do any of that, make sure you guys hit up that tips and donations link. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And we can get into a nice little conversations. Alright, WWE WarGames in Vancouver, Canada took place on Saturday. And it was good. I thought it was great. Overall, I thought it was ultimately one of the best pay-per-views that WWE's had in quite some time. I definitely liked it how there was, there was a couple titles up for grabs. That's something that obviously I've kind of, thrown a little shade at WWE for quite some time, to be like, hey, why do you, why can't you be more like AEW, where you can have every single pay-per-view? Because that's how it was in WWF/WWE for the longest time, where every pay-per-view would be like 8 or 9 matches. The WWF Hardcore, the WWF European Intercontinental Championship would be up for grabs. The Women's Championship, you would have a lot of matches and stuff like that. But obviously nowadays it's it's different. So maybe that's just the old school wrestling fan in me being a little upset that WWE kind of they don't have more than 7 matches per PLE unless it's SummerSlam and WrestleMania, and then you have to kind of split it into 2 nights. But overall good Survivor Series WarGames. I gotta be honest. All right. So first and foremost, the match, we have the Women's WarGames match. Rhea Ripley's team defeats Team Liv Morgan. Obviously, Team Rhea's team, the team of Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Bayley, and Naomi against Liv Morgan's Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton. This was Io Sky's 6th WarGames match. Obviously, it showed that she was going out there, kind of throwing her body, threw caution to the wind. She went out there and she was kicking complete ass. I definitely love that trash can backflip. That was a nice little spot. She was completely badass. I definitely love that. The implementation. I gotta be honest. For the women's matches, I love the fact that they want to appear, cutting edge and innovative and something new, introducing weapons inside the WarGame structure. But just so many bad missed spots, man. I gotta be honest. There was a lot of times where I saw the girls kind of looking to get hit, and it wasn't like moments before they got hit. It was seconds, and in wrestling, seconds are minutes or hours, and it's just I don't know. I love the thought, but it was very poorly executed. And obviously the fans got a good kick out of it. Obviously a huge example that I could, think about right off the top of my head was, if you remember during the match, and obviously if you watch the Women's WarGames match, maybe you could relate. Nia Jax had the steel chair, and it was so funny. It was so funny. She had the steel chair, and she hit Bayley, and Bayley was even like this, and she was like, ha, ha, and then she just taps her. She just taps her. By all means, you don't want to ever injure you don't want to injure the wrestlers, the superstars. Yeah, that works. But if it's gonna be that you know, and I don't want to sound like I don't know, if it's that soft or if it looks that like fake, you know, I would kind of just be like, okay, then just don't have a steel chair. But instead, like you know, and then she attacked Naomi. She gave her a chair shot, and it was like, pah, like, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just looked like, if you watch the match, maybe you could, maybe you understand, you know, where I'm coming from in that. And there was a spot where I think it was Naomi. I think it was Naomi who did a drop kick to Nia Jax, who the steel chair was literally like, she was literally holding up the steel chair to her own face. Like she was on, you know, she was playing like she was like days out of it and completely out of it, because literally like the chair was kind of slipping off her, and obviously to fix the spot, Nia Jax, she like literally, but no, she propped it up to the point where it looked like she was literally setting it up for herself to get drop kicked in the face with the steel chair. Like, and it was just like, I don't know. For me, like, it was a great match. But just, you know, those couple of little things, I gotta be honest, I was kind of like, oh, you know, all right, like, you know, it's cool. Like I said, you know, it's cool, it's innovative, it's cutting edge to have these women go through these, you know, different kind of matches that involve weapons. But, you know, sometimes if it's going to look like that, like, don't even implement any weapons, you know, and it's, I'm not trying to say that to be like a jerk. I'm not trying to be like, oh, these girls going to go out there and kick ass and entertain the fans or try their hardest. I'm just saying, like, you know, if it doesn't look like it fits, like why do it? So it's better not just to do it. So I don't know. Overall, it was kind of crazy. I definitely, I liked how Tiffany Stratton contemplated in her Money in the Bank cash in. It was a little awkward, but at the same time, it was, you know, it was kind of what it was, where, you know, her kind of questioning her loyalty to Nia Jax, kind of looking at Nia Jax lying down there on the floor during the WarGames match and having like these Vietnam flashbacks of her treating her like crap, undermining her, grabbing her by the throat, treating her like crap. And, you know, looking at Liv Morgan to be like, okay, like, I can attack Liv Morgan, but literally, like, I would have so much heat on me because she would be literally all by herself. Because, you know, Liv, she has Raquel, she has Dominic, and then she has the Judgment Day. You know, she has the Judgment Day. I can't really say that with a straight face. I love the lingering tension that they still kind of had between Io Sky and Bayley. Obviously, those two don't see too much of each other because they're on separate brands. Rhea Ripley pins the WWE World Women's Champion. I like that. I thought it was great for Rhea, but, you know, everybody knows that Rhea Ripley will dethrone Liv Morgan for that championship. You know, and it's kind of just more or less, you know, it's the question of when. But, like, if you wanted her to completely, cleanly pin Liv Morgan, I gotta be honest, you know, you saw Raquel Rodriguez, you know, she was handcuffed to the rope, so she was like, oh, Liv, no. Like, so it clearly shows that without Raquel Rodriguez, much like what Liv Morgan has been within the majority of her career, she's not really that good, you know, and I'm, like I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be a Liv Morgan hater, but every single time she's defended and won the match, you know, her title successfully, you know, it's been, you know, a little muddy. The waters have been muddied, you know, it's been, you know, then been like a, you know, distraction or, you know, a cheat here and there. Like, I get it, like, she's the heel, so in turn that kind of, you know, that works for the heel. They're supposed to win that way. But, I don't know, Liv Morgan, I was never really a believer to begin with. She's getting better inside the ring. I feel like she's not botching moves too much. But, I don't know, she can't defeat Rhea Ripley. And everybody in the world knows it. It's just a matter of time until when she loses that championship. And it's going to get to the point where, you know, Liv Morgan, if it wasn't for Raquel Rodriguez, if it wasn't for her, you know, for her uncanny ability of kind of getting lucky, I don't think she would ever kind of make it up to the main events, you know, spectrum again. Like, you know, maybe, you know, Intercontinental or United States Women's Championship, I could buy it. But as a main eventer, you know, all the respect in the world throw to Liv Morgan for what all she's accomplished. Obviously, not, like I said, not trying to throw hate. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I ultimately think she's better. She's a better chaser than she is a champion. Where she's, she gets all the, with all the momentum, trying to claw her way up to the top. And then once she's kind of up there, you're kind of looking at her matches like, oh, I don't really believe that. But I don't know. Overall, I thought it was a great match. It was, a couple poor spots, but, whatever happened, it happened. WWE United States Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats the LA Knight, who's been undefeated ever since July. Nakamura bringing his uniqueness that he learned back when he went back into NOAH. Bringing back that Japanese-style wrestling. And, Shinsuke Nakamura, he went mainstream. He went to WWE. He kind of lost what made himself successful to begin with. You've seen it with Stephanie Vaquer. You've seen it with Julia. You've seen it with Zarya on NXT. A lot of these outside kind of wrestling promotions, WWE, people who wrestled outside the WWE spectrum, they come to WWE and they kind of have this new innovative style of wrestling. And that's something that Shinsuke Nakamura had at the beginning of his career, where he won the NXT championship, where, United States champion, where, he won the Royal Rumble, this new Japan professional wrestling style. And then WWE kind of WWE-atized him. I know that sounds weird, but, and then he became like, he became all like clean and like he, started pandering to the crowd a little bit. And that's not what Shinsuke Nakamura is all about. And Shinsuke Nakamura established himself, getting back to his roots. He even said, through, confusion, through frustrations in your current career state, you meditate on it. And he said he became a whole different person. Obviously, we see the new WWE United States Champion kind of staring you in the face right there. Braun Breaker retains his WWE Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. Ludwig Kaiser. Sheamus was so damn close. It was crazy. Kaiser obviously unloading on Sheamus with the shillelagh was actually kind of funny, but ultimately Braun Breaker was able to hit the spear for the 1-2-3. Gunther retains his World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest. Damian Priest obviously left for dead. Instead of Finn Balor kind of coming back and starting this whole new, not new, they rekindled their feud. They rekindled their rivalry. What comes with Finn Balor is the Judgment Day. So those episodes of WWE Monday Night Raw where you would see Rhea, where you would see Damian Priest laid out in the ring multiple times after WWE Monday Night Raw went off the air. So us as wrestling fans, we have that to look forward to. Maybe a little bit of boring, maybe a little bit of repetitive. For me, I feel like, after this, if Gunther would have pinned Damian Priest cleanly, and then after the match you kind of have like a handshake or something like that, and then you send Damian Priest to Friday Night SmackDown, I would have been okay with that. But now this whole Finn Balor thing and Damian Priest, I think it's bad for Damian, and I ultimately think it's bad for Finn Balor. I got to be brutally honest. So, I'm not a huge fan of how that kind of played out. In the main event, we saw the men's WarGames match. We had the original Bloodline going against the new Bloodline. I definitely love the fact that Jey Uso came out last. I thought that was pretty cool. Jey Uso looked absolutely phenomenal. He should never, ever, ever, ever be heel again because that was just stupid. There was a couple of moments in the thing, obviously the awkward moment between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. This was interesting. This was interesting because this could also be Roman Reigns kind of did it for a reason. He knows his team better than CM Punk. He looked at the Usos and he was like, you know what? They need Sammy right now. They don't need you. They have a way better chemistry with Sami Zayn as opposed to CM Punk. So for that, I could see that happening. But from the outside perspective, from somebody, who watches WWE here and there, they probably saw this happening and be like, oh, he was just being a Roman Reigns. He never changed. He's a control freak. He's the tribal chief. By all means, he still gives a little vibes here and there. I'm not trying to, discredit that in any way, shape, or form. But, this is, when this happened, that's what I thought. The moment came to my mind, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense because Sami Zayn and the Usos, they get along, better. But I also, I thought about it too. I was like, oh, damn, look at Roman Reigns telling CM Punk, be like, no, no, B, sit your ass down, you'll come out whenever I say you come out. Like, obviously that thought occurred to me as well. But, I thought it was a decent spot. I thought it was ultimately great. Obviously, at the end of the match, you saw them, kind of coming together. It took Paul Heyman to literally come out and be like, guys, you need to work together. You bring out the best of each other, kind of being that proud dad thing, rooting on his sons or something like that. But, I don't know, it was kind of crazy. It was an interesting match. It was great. I definitely loved at the end of the match where you saw Solo Sikoa literally model. I think it was Michael Cole or it was Corey Graves saying it. How Solo Sikoa, he was the Judas. He kind of turned his back and started his own little thing. Kind of undermining Jay, Jimmy, Sammy, Roman, and it was fitting that he was the last one to get pinned. He was the one kind of being targeted at the end of the match, kind of then Roman Reigns be like, change your ways. He would have accepted Solo back into the group, but Solo's going to be like, no, I'm the tribal chief, and then bam, then obviously all that happened. Another highlight spot was, Jimmy jumping from the top of the WarGames structure. Also, Bronson Reed goes through the table after CM Punk saves Roman Reigns from disaster. So, all in all, I thought it was, it was great. It was a great pay-per-view. And, you definitely give it a rewatch. All right, my winners and losers of WWE Survivor Series. First, we got the winners. We're going to talk about Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, obviously, like I said before, she comes out here a winner. She comes out here a winner because she has not cleanly pinned Liv Morgan due to circumstances, obviously, with interference and stuff like that. This was huge for her to get this pin, just basically to kind of reiterate, kind of resurface the idea that this title's mine. This WWE World Women's Championship is mine. It has never not been mine. The only way that Liv Morgan continues to be successful is from outside interference. Once again, this match proves that, that's exactly what's going down. Another winner, I got Io Sky. Io Sky heading into her match with Liv Morgan, building up momentum. She looked absolutely impressive. I feel like this WarGames match was a great way to kind of succumb her name, kind of solidify her name in the main event status. Also kind of solidify her name and throw her name around the inaugural. Who's going to be the inaugural WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion if she does not definitely, defeat Liv Morgan for that title, which she probably wouldn't really make sense to have that kind of happen on Monday Night Raw for storyline purposes and stuff like that. But this could definitely be a way for Io Sky to kind of solidify her name and kind of cement her legacy as maybe the future inaugural WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. Also, Shinsuke Nakamura today won, guys. Shinsuke Nakamura and WWE, I believe, both won. Because people had speculations, they were wondering why Shinsuke Nakamura dethroned the LA Knight after LA Knight has been absolutely on fire. Shinsuke Nakamura, he has an event planned on NOAH January in 2025, where now he's going to be repping the WWE. And with WWE's new implementation of the WWE NIL ID program, the next in line independent wrestling circuit to try to draw younger wrestlers, this is great for that because now you're going to have him fighting internationally, and people are going to be like, oh, WWE. I feel like Triple H, Paul Levesque definitely wanted to have that in his back pocket to kind of be like Shinsuke could represent the WWE and kind of show that, Japanese wrestlers could, they could be big stars in a wrestling. They could come to WWE and win. Even not even Japanese wrestlers. Maybe, from absolutely anywhere in the world. They can kind of see Shinsuke Nakamura kind of as this pillar, kind of as this role model of you can come to WWE and establish, gold. So, WWE obviously is going to be more of an international kind of spectrum headed into the WWE Netflix era. So, once again, a huge win for Shinsuke Nakamura. And also the winners, I think everybody who participated in this Intercontinental Championship match kicked ass. Sheamus looked a little gassed at the end, but still, as an older wrestler, he looked great. Braun Breaker looks phenomenal. top prospect, nothing's really changed. Ludwig Kaiser, that top bad guy. There was a point in the match where Braun Breaker and Sheamus were both trying to take him out, maybe because they know that he's a threat. He's young, he's sporadic, he's also very. If you turn your back on Ludwig Kaiser, he's going to kick your ass. He's going to kick your ass. He's going to find a way to win, obviously coming off of the branches of Gunther's teaching. So, I feel like everybody was a winner in this match, but that was me 1,010%. Losers during WWE Survivor Series, I got to be honest, Raquel Rodriguez, once again, but then again, this might be more of a personal reason. I feel like Raquel Rodriguez coming back to the WWE, I thought she was going to come back more as kind of solidifying herself in the main event picture once again, but now she kind of seems like just like that lackey dog of, Liv Morgan. She loses the match at WWE WarGames. During the WarGames match, she had some decent spots, but during most of the match, she just seemed like, I don't know, it just, it's not the Raquel Rodriguez that I hoped to see coming back from that injury. Obviously, her coming back from that injury is a complete, it's awesome, totally throwing my support to her there. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I just wanted to see more from Raquel Rodriguez. Candice LeRae, the inaugural WWE Women's Speed Champion, loses the match, her first ever loss at WarGames. Now she's 2-1. I hate the fact that she doesn't come out repping that Women's Speed Championship. I definitely think that hurts the division more than helps it. Finn Balor, I got to be honest, Finn Balor for me, total loser. Although he did come out and he cost Damian Priest that championship, I got to be honest, maybe you can kind of throw Damian Priest in this picture as well, because I feel like Damian Priest, he lost his rematch. Now he has to start from the absolute bottom, and there's so many names that would come before a second reign of Damian Priest. You would have names like CM Punk, Seth Rollins, hell, maybe even Bronson Reed to win the World Heavyweight Championship before he would ever get a second reign again. So, Lord only knows when Damian Priest is going to get back into that picture. And Finn Balor, he says he's not chasing gold. He says right now in his career he's not all about chasing gold. He was the inaugural, WWE Universal Champion. He's been an NXT World Champion. He's been tag teams. Like, he says he's good. It's what you create from that. That's the only thing about. Like, maybe this is once again like a Raquel Rodriguez thing where I want to see better for Finn Balor. I feel like he can be better. And I feel like during, when he came back from the injury from to begin with, when Finn Balor was still that babyface, where he would do the Demon King thing once in a while, like, he should have made it back to superstardom. Obviously didn't, ended up going back to WWE NXT. But I don't know, I just don't feel it's good for Finn Balor. I feel like ultimately it's not good for his spot. Solo Sikoa is the last loser I got here. Total momentum killer. I thought ultimately this should have been a huge W for this new young bloodline to establish themselves as the champions. As Solo Sikoa being the rightful owner of Ulafala, being the tribal chief, And now Solo Sikoa does what Solo Sikoa does. He lost. Before he challenged Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, he really had no business doing so. He's been, out of the past couple of years, I think he's only won 4 to 6 matches. And once again, obviously WWE booking, I get it and stuff like that. But this match was a huge loss for Solo Sikoa, I thought, to kind of ultimately solidify this young bloodline of being serious. I thought, I thought they should have picked up the victory here. All right, guys, so we do not go anywhere. We took a little longer on those 3 segments, so we're going to try to get through this lickety-split. We got our WWE WarGames injuries. We're going to talk about all the bad of WarGames when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC. To access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage, curtain calls, news, drama. We talk about all the inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to New Japan Professional Wrestling to CMLL to the NWA to the GCW for makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast so you guys can get a nice little notification whenever we decide to go live so you guys can share your opinions about professional wrestling. All right, just going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE SmackDown review. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw talk. We also talked about Survivor Series, WWE WarGames, the winners and the losers. And now we're going to talk about WarGames. There was a couple of injuries. So, yeah, can't wait to get on into that. All right, so obviously if you guys, paid attention on WWE WarGames on Saturday, there was a couple of injuries. There was a couple of big... there was a couple of spots where, you thought people were injured, obviously kind of digging on into it. We had, Jacob Fatu. First and foremost, the WarGames match, a hellacious match. Absolutely, it's going to tear your body apart. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a couple of, not bad examples. It's not a good example. A couple of examples where, you can kind of see the human body is not meant to kind of be, do that's the reason why professional wrestlers, I feel like, don't really get the respect they ultimately deserve. It's because the kind of wear and tear they put their bodies through. So, it's kind of crazy. It's not easy. Jacob Fatu in the Bloodline Civil War match. Jacob Fatu attempted a moonsault, but it looked like his knee gave out, and it was a bad spot. It was crazy. I personally thought it was real. And it was. Jacob, kind of admitted that, both first and foremost, Fightful Select reported that Fatu was not injured at all. After the awkward landing, Jacob made the decision to heavily sell that leg. And, knowing that he was going to lose the match, it makes sense. Like, there was a couple of times where he was, like, going after Jimmy or Jey Uso, and he just didn't really, where he was hobbling around, and I was like, okay, this is a great way. Because if Jacob Fatu was at his 110%, I feel like that match would have gone a little differently. Obviously, predetermined, it happens. It's professional wrestling. It's all good. It's all kayfabe, baby. But, he did a good job for selling it. I personally thought I was like, great, because he's injured his foot before. He was off of WWE for a little bit. I would say for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think it was. Then he came back. He was wearing like a walking boot. And, now you kind of have it. And like, ultimately feel like it's because Jacob Fatu inside that WWE ring, he goes absolutely nuts. He gives it all. He throws caution to the wind. He gives it all he got. He doesn't care. He goes out there. He's like a little kid you take to the park where they're jumping for monkey bars and stuff like that. Because in their eyes, they're just like, hey, I'm just trying to make the best of this situation and have fun. Believe me, I'm a dad. My kids do it all the time. I'm like, guys, like calm down. Like, it's not like you're ever gonna come outside or come over here and play again. Like, you know what I mean? But no, Jacob Fatu, he throws caution to the wind. He gives everything he has to WWE, and that's maybe a huge reason why they signed him. Maybe that's the reason why they probably should have signed him earlier. But he's definitely a promising superstar. He's badass. He's literally one of the best superstars I've ever seen. Kind of coming out of the independent wrestling circuit, I definitely love that 1,010%. This is great news. Great news for the Bloodline storyline. I ultimately kind of thought, that this was going to be kind of detrimental with, without Jacob Fatu being there, there's Samoa Werewolf. No one really is going to be there to protect Solo Sikoa. But sorry, excuse me. Now they do with Jacob Fatu being A-OK. So I definitely like that. I think that's cool, 1,010%. And Jimmy Uso breaks his toes. Damn, he breaks his toes. Jimmy Uso suffered a toe injury. Even Jey Uso said after the match, he said, and I quote, "Yeah, my brother broke his toe on this big splash tonight." He told CM Punk. And, it was a good spot. But whenever you kind of go up there, and you've seen it happen. Obviously, we're going to talk about Bronson Reed in a second. But, when you kind of go up there and you kind of seems like you're not really used to doing high-end moves like that. Like, you've seen it. You saw it at AEW with Adam Copeland where he came down and tried to get Malachi Black. And it was just a terrible landing, and they ended up injuring themselves. Like, Edge got it bad. Well, Adam Copeland, technically. He got it way worse than, Jimmy Uso. But it was a good spot. It was a damn good spot. It was a nice way to take out Jacob Fatu, who was also got, kayfabed injured. But, this is for real. How long Jimmy Uso is going to stay off WWE TV? Not long. He's probably going to... I don't even see him wearing a boot. I don't really see him wearing bandages or anything like that. He's probably just going to be... he's going to be backstage. He's going to be, on the apron, definitely backing up his brother, definitely backing up Roman Reigns. Where does this Bloodline storyline kind of go from here? Only time will tell. What's going to be the next move in this Bloodline Civil War. Now we're kind of building up momentum towards Saturday night's main event. Maybe a match of, I don't know if Roman Reigns will find himself in a match. It'd be nice for him to finally challenge Solo Sikoa in, tribal combat, trying to get that Una Fala. I feel like that could definitely be a huge marksmanship for Saturday night's main event. That'd be a great main event. That'd be pretty awesome. And, because even after the match ended, Michael Cole, or I think it was Corey Graves, one of them said, like, he's, Roman Reigns, he's still not the tribal chief. He might have won this battle, but he has not won the war. So, a lot of things still lingering. The storyline's still, simmering. It's going to, develop. It's going to be definitely poetic. This storyline that the Bloodline Civil War going through right now, I got to be honest, it's going to be the best storyline I've seen as a wrestling fan my whole entire life. Like, and I've watched I've watched wrestling since I was like 6 years old. So, 26 years, guys, of experience. So, kind of crazy to see Jimmy Uso go down, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, now we got Big Bad Bronson Reed. According to a report from Corey Brennan of Fightful Select, Bronson Reed has suffered an ankle injury. Reed tsunami from the top of the cage. It's been told that he's injured one or even maybe both of his ankles. Ouch. On the landing. WWE CCO and head of creative Triple H confirmed Bronson Reed is questionable and will undergo scans on Monday. Reed addressed his injury on social media, saying, and I quote, "Injuries are temporary, moments are forever." I like the spot. But with all the momentum that Bronson Reed kind of had, will this halt it? I don't think it will. I don't think it will. You didn't really have Seth Rollins in a match, so that never really kind of preluded to their feud against each other on, heading toward Monday Night Raw. So if anything, if Bronson Reed has a state of mind where he can take a leave of absence and it's absolutely appropriate, this is probably the best time to do so. Like, this guy could probably literally be a month off of television and come back and just do exactly what he does. Come out and hit tsunamis. Come out and kind of F shit up backstage. Sorry, F stuff up backstage. I blanked out one of the curse words, not both. Sorry. You could have him come back and kind of just do what he, kind of reign supreme, kind of, have ruckus all over WWE and kind of just be that same character. So for this, I feel like if Bronson Reed is literally, injured, both ankle injuries, that could be, it could, something as bad as like a sprain to a fracture. This could be like literally week to months. 3 or 4 months. And, Bronson Reed has been a young, rising star in WWE. And, he has not been confirmed for Monday Night Raw. He's not going to be on Monday Night Raw. So, we're going to find out what CM Punk has to say. Obviously, at the beginning of the WarGames match, you saw him push Bronson Reed's face. I kind of thought that was a foretelling for the future of CM Punk and Bronson Reed. But now with Bronson Reed injured, this could kind of ultimately alter the storylines, the script a little bit. But I don't know. It should be pretty great. Will he be written off of WWE? See, that's something that I thought of as well. Will Bronson Reed will he be targeted or attacked by like Seth Rollins? Maybe Seth Rollins maybe he takes him out like Reed took him out, like with like a steel chair or something like that, or maybe that's going to be a great way to kind of ride him off TV. Reed vowed to insert himself in the main event scene, and he's done exactly that. He's been working backstage with quote-unquote Triple H and Paul Heyman in character development, also working toward a better future in WWE. Bronson Reed has been absolutely phenomenal in WWE because he's absolutely comfortable in any match type, in any scenario, going up against any opponent. Obviously, we've seen him on WWE Speed with great matches with Ricochet. And, that's just something that is really cool about Bronson Reed. That's something that I've definitely noticed. Bronson Reed's not your average, ordinary, kind of big, although he's, this big strapping guy, this doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win every match like a squash match. He has a great way to kind of elevate the talent around him. Like someone like Ricochet, who was smaller than him. He's able to fight matches with Braun Strowman where he's more athletic than Braun Strowman, but in this case, in this match, in this scenario, he's gonna kind of go like, oh, this is power. This is all about power. So I'm gonna kind of demonstrate my power a little bit. So then he's able to do that. So Bronson Reed, obviously a very gifted wrestler. WWE's definitely lucky to have him. I can't wait to see what happens when he comes back. I want to see this guy kind of take over WWE. He's a future WWE champion. He's young. I think he's only like 26 years old. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But got some high hopes for some Bronson Reed. So I can't wait to find out, what WWE has in store for him when he comes back. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We talk about our WWE. Oh, also, WarGames injury. Sorry, not trying to skip over this. Raquel Rodriguez got a pretty nasty cut. She posted herself on social media as well, getting stitches on her left elbow. So, obviously, gotta throw some attention there too. All right, Shinsuke Nakamura defeats the LA Knight to win the WWE United States Championship. Obviously, it's for a reason. We're going to get into that reason when we come back. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, drama, and updates. We talk about inactive statuses, injury updates on superstars in any wrestling circuit. We talk about AEW, WWE. We talk about basically anything if it makes news in the world of professional wrestling. Obviously, giving you guys some of my previews and my reviews as well. Obviously, waiting for you guys to send in any kind of feelings, any kind of things you want to get off your chest. It's good to be very vocal in the chat. Don't be shy. You absolutely do not be shy. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. All right, we got to wrap up here pretty quickly. I got 9 minutes until the GSMC Deadball podcast, where I have to pass it over to my man, Emran, where he talks about all the hot things in terms of the world of sports, football, basketball, baseball. You can count on him to give you all the tea. Also, he's going to give you a nice little rundown, a nice little review of what to take away from Monday Night Football. The Cleveland Browns falling to the Denver Broncos, 31-42. So it's going to be an interesting episode. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. All right, guys. So Shinsuke Nakamura wins the United States Championship. Some fans, and I got to be honest, I was a little upset too. I thought it was too soon. This guy literally came back 2 weeks ago. Attacked the LA Knight on SmackDown. Defeated Andrade last week on SmackDown, and all of a sudden he deserves to challenge for the WWE United States Championship. This was all part of a bigger plan. It was all part of a bigger picture. Shinsuke Nakamura will fight in January 2025 at an NOH event in Japan. WWE is going international, guys, and that's nothing that obviously, with Netflix and everything, Triple H, Paul Levesque wants to establish WWE as a worldwide presence in the world of professional wrestling. And with this new WWE NIL program, also this independent wrestling program where they're trying to find younger superstars from any part of the globe, just to kind of bring them to WWE, kind of skipping out that middleman, because before WWE always kind of, they always kind of dabbled into superstars who fought in Ring of Honor, who fought in TNA, who, nowadays fought in AEW, in the CMLL. They're looking at a lot of these younger talents, and they're kind of being like, hey, why don't we just start a program where we can kind of help these younger superstars become superstars? Because eventually they want to come over here. They want to come over and make their name inside of WWE. And it's great. It's absolutely 1,010% going to be great for WWE. But someone it's not going to be great for it. And I got to be honest. And like I said, I'm not into this whole WWE versus AEW kind of thing. But, Tony Khan, AEW, Ring of Honor, CMLL, well, not really CMLL, AEW, Ring of Honor, I feel like the success of AEW and Ring of Honor has been the fact that WWE never really took time or energy to kind of ultimately look at this talent. They ultimately overglanced a lot of these young independent wrestlers that they were kind of like, all right, let's go ahead and sink our teeth into them because, let's get it before WWE does. And, now it's kind of coming back to bite him in the ass. And, WWE, this is, I think William Regal he spoke about it in an interview talking, is this WWE independent program like a monopoly in terms of the world of professional wrestling? And it's not. And it really is not, because this now, as opposed to, WWE kind of having a choice, it more or less takes the power. I feel like it kind of takes the power away from WWE. Now, if you're a young, rising superstar, you don't have to go through the channels of, and I'm not trying to say independent wrestling's bad, but you don't have to waste your time in the independent wrestling circuits if you want to make it to WWE. You either want to fight in WWE or you don't. You either want to make money, it's like a job. It's like a job. You can literally state your claim in any kind of job. You can apply anywhere. If you got all the credentials, if you got all the experience where you come out there, you're absolutely hot stuff, and you can basically nail down any job that you want. you have a choice. When you graduate college, when you go through a nice internship, and you apply to multiple jobs. That's what people do. They apply to multiple jobs. They get a hit up from one job. Oh, hey, we would be interested in to kind of hire you. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to take the interview. I'm going to get hired. But, if something comes better along the lines, I'm going to take that. And that's absolutely has nothing to do. It's not personal, not at all. It's business. It's business. And that's something that wrestlers kind of have now the choice that, we can sign a developmental program and, with contract with WWE, or we can just go ahead and, we can think about doing something different. Like we can go to AEW and we can go through that route. It all depends what you want to do as a wrestler. So I feel like with this win with Shinsuke Nakamura, I feel like it's done, really, really well with this new day and age of this Netflix era on WWE. When you think of Netflix, first and foremost, it's one of the biggest streaming conglomerates in the whole entire world. When you think about Netflix, it's synonymous with the word international cinema. You think about Hollywood, you think about Bollywood, you think about Lollywood, Nollywood Asian cinema as well. You think about all these different diaspora of wrestling fans that you could, that you could potentially reach with Monday Night Raw being on Netflix because everybody's subscribed to Netflix. It's having somebody out there like Shinsuke Nakamura with the WWE United States Championship. This, it's just going to be something that a lot of wrestlers are going to pay eye to. That's something a lot of international wrestling corporations are going to pay attention to as well. And definitely something that I got to give credit to. Something I got to give credit to. I got to give credit to, WWE for finally kind of stepping out over that boundary where you don't really have that forbidden door anymore. Kind of following the footsteps of their TKO Holdings partner, the UFC. Taking a book out of Dana White's philosophy in the UFC, where you have the best in the world coming to fight each other. And if you have that in WWE, that's just going to bring you more bucks, going to bring you more attention, it's going to bring you more talent. And that's something that's going to be the future of WWE, and that's something that's it's going to be great. It's going to be hot. Obviously, the future of WWE is going to be foretold on the success of this developmental program. It's also going to be based on the success on how well Monday Night Raw does in terms of viewers on Netflix. There's so many different outside perspectives. There's so many different outside, points that could lead WWE to become more popular than it already is, which seems absolutely, impossible as of right now. But as of, it's, I don't know. And at the same time, you're revamping Shinsuke Nakamura's career. You have Shinsuke Nakamura with his third title reign as the United States Championship, and it's about time. Shinsuke Nakamura, the last time we saw him was in a squash match with Braun Breaker, and now you kind of see him. You kind of see him fulfilling his destiny. You kind of saw, with him and AJ Styles, him low-blowing AJ Styles after winning the WWE Royal Rumble, kind of killing his character. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And on the other side of that coin, we have the LA Knight. Was it good? Was it bad for him to win the championship? It could be good because now he's in the main event picture. This was a great way, kind of like where you saw Gunther lose in the WWE Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn. This was WWE's way to kind of tell LA Knight to be like, all right, kid, guess what? Hey, guess what? Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. He could potentially battle Cody Rhodes. He could battle Gunther. Will he kind of come as a babyface or a heel? I'm not too sure. Will they need him on Monday Night Raw heading into the Netflix era? Possibly. Could he be taking some time away from WWE? Maybe taking a page out of Shinsuke Nakamura's book, where you could have him take some time away, come back and kind of revamp his character. Although I don't really feel like his character doesn't really need that much revamp. He's been a fighting champion from the open challenges to the month-to-month battles on the PLEs in WWE. He's at 119-day reign. But, after every way that he's been fighting, he's a 200 at least 200 plus day reign. Like it's, so it seems like he kind of speaks for himself. So I definitely think that's, kind of cool. Maybe we could see being a rematch at WWE Saturday Night's main event, where maybe you could possibly see Logan Paul come back into WWE, screw over LA Knight, causing a new ultimate, kind of new feud that these two could kind of go out there and battle with. And I feel like ultimately it'd be pretty badass. All right, guys, so hey, that's it for me today. I've ran all out of time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Superman, punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network, follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and TikTok for more content and updates. Like I said, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, check out all the other podcasts we have here. Hope you guys had an amazing, beautiful weekend. Hope you guys are having a blessed holidays. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.